In this video, we're going to be talking about how to solve and graph two-step inequalities. So the first thing and the most important thing that I want to remind you guys of is that when you are multiplying or dividing by a negative number, you have to flip the inequality sign. So that is the biggest thing that we are going to get tripped up by, because sometimes we forget that rule. So make sure that you star that, so you can remember when you're multiplying or dividing by a negative, you need to flip your inequality sign. So when we are solving inequalities, I want you guys to solve this the same way that we solve equations. We're going to draw a line down from our inequality sign so that we have two sides of our inequality, because whatever we do to one side, we have to balance that out by doing to the other. Now, we always ignore the number that's by itself. I am always dealing with the side that has the variable, because my key is to get this variable isolated all by itself. So the first thing that I want to get rid of is this plus 4, okay? So to undo a plus 4, I'm going to do the opposite. Opposite of a plus 4 or a positive 4 is a negative or a minus, so I'm going to be subtracting 4 to both sides. This side cancels out because 4 minus 4 is 0, so I'm just left with 2x. I keep my inequality sign that it says greater than or equal to. On the right-hand side, I'm going to subtract. 24 minus 4 is 20. Now I'm not done. I need to undo my last step. Whenever a number is next to a variable, it means to multiply. The opposite of multiplication is division, so I'm going to go ahead and divide by 2 on both sides. These cancel out because 2 divided by 2 is just 1, so I'm left with 1x. I did not divide by a negative, so I'm going to keep my inequality sign the same. And then 20 divided by 2 is 10. So now I can go ahead and graph. I know because it is equal to or equal to, it's going to be a closed circle. So I'm going to go ahead and find my 10. I'm going to put a closed circle on 10, because 10 is part of the solution set. And then it says that x is greater than. I can also think about two things. Number one, alligator mouth is open to what's bigger if you need that hint. Or two, I can go ahead and close off my arrow, and it's going to show me what direction to go to point my arrow to, which is the right, because x is greater than or equal to 10. All right, let's try another one. So I'm going to start by drawing my line down for my equal sign. I deal with the side that has the variable because I'm trying to get that variable by itself. I first need to get rid of that minus 3, so I'm going to go ahead and add 3 to both sides. These 3's cancel out, so I'm just left with, on the left-hand side, m over 3 is less than or equal to negative 6 plus 3. This is where a lot of us got tripped up with our equations topic. So remember our additions rule, which if you need to write this out, please do so. So addition, same sign. I'm going to add, different sign. I need to subtract. The other thing I need you guys to remember, I'm running out of room here, is when we are subtracting with a negative, you have to do keep, change, change, because you need to turn that problem into an addition problem. Okay, in this case, I'm not subtracting with a negative. I'm adding this 3 here, but I do have a negative 6 and a positive 3. So I'm going to really be subtracting. So 6 minus 3 is 3, and the larger number is negative, so my answer is going to be negative. Okay, this is also like saying if you need a visual on a number line, say I'm right here, I am starting at negative 6. If I'm adding 3, I'm going to be going to the right 3 spots. Now, if you were subtracting, you would go to the left, but in this case, I'm adding, so I'm going to the right. So it's going to be getting closer to 0, so I'm getting smaller. All right, so my last step here, hopefully we know by now, a fraction means to divide. So to undo division, I'm going to be multiplying. I'm going to be multiplying both sides by 3. These 3's cancel out. I'm left with m is less than or equal to Negative 3 times positive 3 is negative 9. Notice I did not flip my inequality sign because I multiplied by a positive. So it did not matter that my number over here was negative. It mattered what I was multiplying by, which was a positive. So I'm going to go ahead and graph this solution. Negative 9 is in between negative 8 and negative 10. I know it's going to be a closed circle because negative 9 is part of my solution set. This is saying m is less than, so I'm going to go ahead and draw my arrow to the left. All right, let's go down and do another one. Draw your line down from your equal sign. In this case, I cannot undo my subtraction first because the whole problem is being divided by 21. So I need to undo the division first. So to undo division, I'm going to multiply, which means I'm going to multiply both sides by 21. These 21s cancel out, and now I'm left with v minus 2. Negative 1 times 21 is negative 21. And now I can undo my subtraction. So I'm going to undo my subtraction by adding 2 to both sides. I'm already adding, so now I have my addition rules. I have different signs here. So subtraction, 21 minus 2 is 19, and the larger number is negative, so my answer is negative. So I am left with v is greater than or equal to negative 19. So I'm going to go ahead and find negative 19 on my graph. It's or equal to, so it's going to be a closed circle. And then v is greater than, so my graph is going, or my arrow is going to go to the right.